Hi guys, I'm Lisa. Hope you guys had a great holiday and welcome back. I'm not an attorney. I'm just another employee who wants to contribute to a body of knowledge that I think can help more of us win our discrimination claims. Most of you guys don't come to me for legal advice, and that's smart. But a lot of you have asked me for recommendations for attorneys, and some of the best ones that I've run across are right here on YouTube. 2 of my former attorneys work for a firm that has a strong YouTube presence, and I know several of you are working with YouTube attorneys as well. For each one of these firms, I'm going to share what I think is some of their must-watch YouTube content, and I'll put as many links to that stuff as I can in the description, although I have to tell you that attorneys in general make it very hard to share direct links to their content here. They tend to be pretty protective. But if I can't post a link, I'll at least tell you where to find it. Most of the attorneys that I'm going to mention today only work in specific states, so if you happen to be looking for an attorney, keep that in mind before you get your hopes up. And also, where I can, I'm going to post links in the description to these firms' published fee schedules, so you'll know how much they charge and the types of services they typically provide. The most common fee arrangement is a flat fee retainer, where we pay sort of a down payment for their services and work out a payment plan for the balance. Most of these firms do offer contingency arrangements if they think that your case is strong and worth enough to warrant investing their time. And for those of you who are going pro se, they offer hourly rates, just in case you happen across an issue or a step of the process that you need help with, like answering a motion for summary judgment from your employer, for example. And for pro se plaintiffs, that type of arrangement can be great because it's a way that you can get a little targeted advice about your case while still keeping your legal costs manageable. So now let's get to the attorneys. First up is Spiggle Law Firm. And 2 of the attorneys that I worked with are now senior attorneys at this firm. They listened, they understood my concerns, they cared enough to do something about it, and they got a great result for me, so no complaints. It's definitely worth checking them out. A good place to start online is with their case assessment calculator. It walks you through a fairly detailed questionnaire about your situation, and at the end, you'll get an idea of what they think your case is worth, which will put you in a better position to decide if your fight is worth it. Another Spiggle resource that I recommend checking out early in your process is their Legal Leverage playlist. It's 7 to 10 videos that walk you through the basic questions all employees should consider before we enter this fray. Questions like, how exactly did my employer violate the law? What types of damages can I recover? What kinds of evidence am I going to need? When should I hire an attorney? And a few other important questions that you really want to think through before you decide to do this, all from the perspective of an experienced employment attorney. Now, this next firm I was turned on to by a community member who recently won her case with their help. Crayon Law Firm. Their YouTube videos are mostly focused on specific issues or situations that we're likely to encounter in this process, and they give a great overview of how to go about handling each one. Pro se plaintiffs will find some useful information on their channel, like their video Motion for Summary Judgment Without a Hearing, that gives the basics about what summary judgment is, when it's granted, and how to respond to an employer's motion so you get your hearing. Also check out their videos on failure to accommodate, discovery, settlement, mistakes to avoid in retaliation claims, and more. All their videos are just about 5 minutes long, which makes them easy to digest without overloading your brain with too many legal details. And they also do a lot of shorts, which can really motivate you to learn as you go through this process. Morris Fisher is one of my personal favorites because he provides so much great detailed content that's useful to both pro se plaintiffs and the rest of us who just want to be smarter clients. If you check out my free Pro Se toolkit, which I'll link to at the end of this video, some of the templates that I include in that toolkit were actually developed by him back when he was an associate at another firm. He's very smart, and he doesn't seem to mind sharing his knowledge. I think I probably watched every single one of Morris's videos. They're all excellent, but some of my favorites are 5 Ways Clients Seriously Damage Their Cases, which covers the most common mistakes that a lot of us make so you don't have to fall into those traps. I really like his video on handling hostile work environments. It has some great ideas for actually catching employers at their dirty work, and he has a great 4-part series on mistakes clients make at deposition. And finally, his video on maximizing your initial consultation with our firm is a lot of good to know stuff when you're struggling to find representation, not just with his firm, but any firm. It gives a lot of really useful insight on how attorneys evaluate our cases and our chances. Next up is Kyle Ingram. I actually reviewed one of Kyle's videos on the channel this year. And what I love most about his content is that he doesn't just share what's supposed to happen in the federal process like a lot of people do. He shares what actually happens. He shares about how dirty employers try to short-circuit the process and silence us. His videos on 11 PIP mistakes and 7 secrets to surviving your PIP are essential viewing for anyone in the federal sector who's worried about losing their job due to retaliation. And he outlines clear, simple steps that you can take to interrupt that process, hopefully before they can wrongfully terminate you. He also talks about how agencies do things like manipulate timelines to kill our chances, how they manipulate essential functions to get out of reasonably accommodating us, and what kinds of tricks we can expect in mediation. If these videos had been around when I was going through it, I could have seen a lot of NASA's dirty tricks coming and would have known what to do about them. No video on YouTube employment attorneys could possibly be complete without at least mentioning Brannigan Robertson, the superstar of YouTube employment attorneys in my book. I highly recommend his playlist on documenting an employment case. It has a ton of great suggestions for getting the evidence that you're going to need to win. And if you're trying to figure out if you have a case, he has a whole playlist for that and a lot more. He's been creating content for years, so there is a ton of it here. All of it good. Even if you can't hire him to represent you, binging his content is definitely going to make you a stronger fighter. And finally, I want to give a shout out to one of the new faces that I've run across, Advocate Lucinda. Her production quality is excellent, and she knows her subject matter. But what I love most about her is that her videos don't just inform and educate, they inspire. She seems to sincerely want to help people who need it the most, and I really love that about her. And if I've left anybody off the list that you think is a must-watch, drop me a comment about it, so I can include them in future videos. That's what I got today, guys. Happy binging. I'll see you guys in the next one. Till then, take care and hang in. Bye.